It's the Canon R5 video autofocus versus a 2-year-old. Can you say autofocus? The Canon R5's autofocus is one of those things that it is most renowned for, and from a photography standpoint, it is incredible. It's an amazing system. But I found myself in a unique situation. Most of the videos that I've come across really focus on setting up your autofocus on the Canon R5 for photography purposes. So what I want to do today, if you're looking for a video about photography autofocus, there are tons of them out there. This is going to be all about video, and the video autofocus settings I think will help you maximize your Canon R5. Now we're going to look at 3 major areas on autofocus that I think really make sense for you if you are a shooter. The first one is going to be a lifestyle / documentary type shooting. This is a situation, you're out there, the world's changing, you can't quite set up your shots, what you need to go. You just need autofocus that you know you can rely on and catch. That's the first thing. Then we're going to look at product videography. I feel that's something that a lot of commercial shooters out there need to get high quality video for their projects. You need to know, can you trust the autofocus to get that? And the third thing we're going to look at is a classic interview setting and how to get best set up for an interview. So let's go ahead, jump in there. I got a 2-year-old lined up and ready for these lifestyle documentary things. Let's go and check out what the Canon R5 can do. Okay, so first thing, let's go ahead and make sure our autofocus method is set on tracking. That's very, very important. We're gonna put our subject to detect, put it on people, because we're gonna be shooting people in this situation. Make sure eye detection is enabled. Movie servo is enabled as well. That's very, very important. Now, we're gonna come over here. Let's go ahead and our tracking sensitivity, I think I'm gonna start off right here at 0 just to see what it does. And switching between track subjects, let's just start at 1. That's right in the middle, default. Let's go from there and see what we can do. What are you doing, you silly boy? Whoa, okay, so, as you can see, I got a pretty high contrast situation there. Really dark, and look at that, it's still tracking on his eye. Now, Benji is being silly here, and he has some leaves. What's up, boy? What do you think? Whoa. Oh, there you go, does it keep it? Oh, there you go, look at that. It's still tracked on even though he's got the limbs in front of his face. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look. Let's take our tracking sensitivity. I'm going to bump it all the way up to 3. I really want to see what that looks like. It's super responsive. And I want to change my tracked objects to initial priority because we know usually what we want to focus on. We know this subject. This is what I think is realistic. Oh my gosh, it just completely goes all over the place there. That is not good. Look, it's having a hard time. Look at him. That is a complete failure. Look at that. It's the speed tracking is too responsive. It just is not. That is a disaster. So whatever you do, apparently. All right, now it's doing a pretty good job with it. Oh yeah, that's just nowhere near as good. Okay, now we finally got something. All right, there we go. Now we're starting to get something. Hey, boy. What's up? What you doing? Yeah, did it again. How you doing? Okay, so obviously that was not good. Let's change the sensitivity. I want to go all the way down to lockdown. Let's see what happens when we lock it on. And then should we switch this track subject? I'm going to keep it where it was because this is how I think we'd actually shoot. We want to lock on things that we're shooting. Let's see how it goes. I know. Hey boy, there's that eye focus. Let's see, does it go through that? Oh, there you go. Good job. Oh. Let's see, will we pick him back up? Is it gonna pick? There it is. Whoa! You got it, boy. You got it. Very good. Very, very good. Huh, that's doing a really good job. If I tell it to lock on, that looks really good. And this is at -3, and it's still holding up. Man, that's really good. That is a really good setting. I feel like that stays really locked on really well to the subject in this situation. And it's just, I mean, this is a 2-year-old doing what 2-year-olds do. We have him backlit, high contrast situation. Let's pick him up. There it is again. Let's see, he's good. Things coming in front of the screen, which is really good. Oh, let's see if it pitches it. We'll see. There you go. We'll pick them back up. Oh, there it is. There it is. Hey, Benji. There he is. Okay. Be behind the subject. There you go. Look at that. So pretty good on him. You're doing really good, Bubby. You're doing really good. Whoa! Look at that. Behind, it stayed on him even behind the plants. That was really, really good. I still think, if you were to ask me, I still feel like the -3 may have been even better. It just seemed like it really didn't jump too much. And I'm walking around and moving too, and it's still really doing a great job of holding on to him. Look at that. I think we lost him. Let's see if it picks it back up. What do you got, boy? Huh? Ah, there it is. Hey. All right, so let's go ahead and mix it up. I'm going to take it now, sensitivity down to 0, and let's put our switch subject all the way up. Let's pump it to 2 and see what happens. Okay, so we're on switching the subject. Let's see how jumpy it is when I switch this subject. Hey, Bubby. Even that says really good. I'm actually super duper impressed with these video settings. Let's see. Are you gonna come to me, bud? 70mm. Let's see what he does. Now he's going backwards. You went the wrong way. Stayed with him though. Oh, I lost him. Look at that. I did lose him back there. On this one. So this one looks a little bit not quite as good. If I was doing this, I would go locked on. Let's see where it picks him back up. Oh, there it is, picking back up. Okay. Whoa! Watch out! I know, I agree. Yeah, so you can see it's jumping down his arm and stuff there. I just really think this shows me that the locked on is the way to do this test. All right, so I'm going to go back here now to the settings that I think work really well. Let's look at this again. We're going to put movie serve, -3, the track sensitivity, and we're going to keep switching subjects to initial priority. This is a good setting for me. Yeah, this really feels right for me. This came out of my minimum range here for my lens. Popped right back on him. Look at that. That is freaking great. Really, really fantastic. This seems like a great setting for me on this. I really, really like it a lot. Look at that. It keeps him tracking all the way back. That's great. And I'm at 70mm right now too, so it's a little bit harder to focus, and it's just doing a fantastic job of keeping with him as he goes. Let's see what happens when he gets up here. Okay, so there you go. That was a lot of fun for me personally, but a 2-year-old just has a great way of forcing you to be surprised. You can't know where it's going to go, and I think that really showed what the settings of the Canon R5 that will probably help you if you're looking at it in this situation. Now, let's go jump over and look at some product stuff and see what the differences are in a product versus a lifestyle/documentary type shoot. Now, the first thing I want to do right now is to look at this move without any autofocus on whatsoever. So this is what it looks like. You can see the green marks here in my manual focus. We have it completely perfectly in focus. And what you can do is if I come here, you can see it's very soft there at the end. I come in focus at the center, and then I begin to lose it as I come out. Very, very typical, very, very accepted. And guys, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go first off to my tracking, which would be expected. So we'll put tracking. Now I'm going to go to no priority. I don't want to worry about people. I don't want to worry about animals. I just want to focus on this subject. Now, once I get past this, what I want to do is I want to make sure eye detection is disabled. I don't want hunting for eyes. And I'm going to put it on movie servo. That's also really important because we want to make sure we track this. Now, I'm going to come over my tracking sensitivity, and let's go ahead and we'll start this off all the way up at responsive at +3. I'm going to keep everything pretty good. Switching tracked objects, I'll probably keep it as a 1. And we'll keep switching tracked objects as a 1, and we'll kind of go from there. So we're going to go here now and try this for this way. So I'm going to come now. I'm going to start at the beginning, do a nice slow 1 again, and let's go ahead and move it. Now, it does catch it. Look at that. You see that hunting there? It is hunting. There, up, there it is right there. You see that hunt? We got it. Found it. I'm going to do a faster one now just to see it. And you can see, I feel this is hunting a little bit. I don't really trust that 100%. Let's see what our other options are. All right, so let's go ahead and change our movie servo speed so it's really down. Will give us a better option. So here we are, I'm locked on. Locked on. Oh man, it's really hunting now. Really hunting. Try it again. And it's doing it, but I'm still seeing a little bit of hunting. I don't know if I would trust that. Look at that, it hunted right there. I don't know if I would trust that for a professional client. Let's see what our other option is, because I think there may be a better option here. So let's come back here and let's change our actual method. So what I'm going to do, instead of being on tracking, let's go ahead and see what single 1-point tracking looks like. I'm going to keep everything the same. No priority on the subject, movie servo AF. And let's go back to our servo tracking, and let's just put it kind of right here in the middle and see how it does. I'm gonna keep everything else the same. And now what I can do is I can move this around and decide what point I want to focus on. This text is pretty obvious. I'm gonna put that right there on the text. Let's put it there. Okay. And now let's see how it kind of tracks on it. So we got it there. I'm tracked on this spot here. And that looks much better to me. I didn't see any random hunting. Let me go ahead and really speed this up. I'm going to do a fast move here. Ready? And looks pretty good. I can tell you right away, I'm thinking that this 1-point tracking for product photography or video is better. Let's go ahead now and see it responsive. Maybe that's better or worse. Looks pretty good too, actually. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. And let me see what happens when I try and get it locked on. So let's go back up here. We're going to go now and just switch it all the way here down to locked on and see what happens. Let's try this. Oh, I lost it right there at the end. Looks like I had a little bit of a loser. Oh, lost it right there in the middle. Let's go one more time now. Let's go ahead and put this kind of right in the middle. Let's see +1 and try this and kind of see how it's going to play out for us as we try and go. I'm going to put this back on tracking, and I do want to see on here for tracking, and let's see if this works better for our tracking. Let's go this. That looks a lot better than what we had before. Do a fast one. So very, very interesting. It really looks to me, oh, there's a little hunt right there. But if you are going to do tracking, I'm still getting some hunting. So it really looks like to me, based on this, that really if you're going to be doing product stuff, I really think your best bet is going to be able to go back to single point focus to really get what you need to get. Okay, and the last section I think we need to look at is the classic interview section. Most of you using Canon R5s, I think, will end up interviewing someone in some situation, and you want to know that autofocus too. Let's look at what the autofocus acts like in an interview situation. So here we are in an interview subject, and what I want to do, let's talk about this. First thing, let's set our autofocus to people with eye detect on. And then now really what I want to do is figure out our servo speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here after, as I jump up here, I'm going to set to my servo speed. I'm going to set my tracking sensitivity to -1. This is sort of a little more locked on. I don't want to switch between my subjects because I have a moving subject. I just want to kind of keep them in the center there. And what we're going to do, one thing is look when I sit down. I'm going to go from the background, and at -1, you can see I sit down and it pops in, you know, pretty nice and quick. And then really what I want you to do is look how it picks up on my eye and just sort of dances around my eye. Now this is I'm acting like a pretty excited interview subject, but you can see it does track, and you see it even at -1, it is bouncing around a fair amount there. It's just not picking an eye. It does like to jump around. And I pull out here, and at -1, you can see that's how fast it jumps to the background as I go in. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come and do it completely locked on. I just wanna lock it on and see how this looks. So see how this looks at a -3. Once again, you'll see it's got the background on focus, it did autofocus there. And now you can see it definitely takes a bit of time to find me, but it does find me. It does find me, a little more natural, organic. And you can see now it's staying a little more locked on. It's not hunting around my face so much. You know, these are very, very micro, tiny adjustments. You can't notice this in the actual recording. I just want you to see what it looks like when I'm doing this actual on there. And watch here, popping it out to the background again. You can see the distance there. Now let's really crank it up and see what a +3 responsive looks like for an interview situation. So I'm going to sit down there, and now you see when I sit down, boom, it pops right even before I sit down. That's how fast it goes. And as you can see, it's sitting there, it's locking on that right eye of mine, but you can see it is really hunting around a lot more. It's more responsive, it's being more careful, but it's doing a really good job of keeping me in focus with all those micro huntings. And, you know, when you're actually doing the real thing, it really does a good job of sitting on there. Okay, so there you go. A lot of information, and I know this was a long video, but I just kind of felt like you needed to see that you can't just, it's kind of hard to set the Canon R5 for a one and all situation. It seems like each of these situations, you need to have a slightly different approach and philosophy to get it. And then really, I think it's you going out there and figuring out what works for you. And yeah, guys, go out there. I hope you have fun shooting with this Canon R5, unlocking these autofocus capacities of it. Yeah, so go on out there, keep on shooting. Yeah, and I'll talk to you soon.